let's turn this bad boy this way. There we go. All right. I am on live. Got my old fart glasses here so that I don't have to squint too much. Oh my goodness. What is that? Dust? I live in the desert. What are the odds I'd be dusty? Pretty good, I suppose. All right. Well, we got a few things to talk about that are going to be very interesting, I think. First, I want to congratulate the Syrian people. What's happening there, Jeff? I want to see if I'm glitching yet, or if I'm actually. Am I glitching? No, not yet. All right, good. So, this is going to be an interesting one. Mostly, I want to talk about money. And the reason I want to talk about money is because, obviously, politics is not something we need to worry about for a while. Nobody's been censored yet. That's awesome. By the way, it's probably because nobody's said anything yet. As soon as you start making comments, you'll get censored. We want to know about these drones. I really could care less about these drones. I mean, seriously, look, every time you talk on the phone, everything you say is being monitored. So what are the drones going to see that your phone's not telling Google every single day anyway? Have you got a Ring doorbell monitor? Because it's spying on you. Do you have Siri? Do you have Alexa? Because if you do, everything you say in your home is being recorded. I mean, that's just a fact. Let's be honest. So drones that are 1,000 feet over my head, the fuck are they going to see? What are they going to see that the cameras that are all over the house, like the ones in the TVs or the ones in the computers or whatever, that they aren't going to see, you know? I think the drone thing is just a distraction. Yeah, that's true. I guess Alexa can't really drop stuff on your head. She can just, monitor your moods and whatnot, see what your triggers are, and report back to Google just in case they need to trigger you for some reason. All right, so I haven't done a live stream since the CEO of United Healthcare was shot. Obviously, I was happily surprised at the amount of comments that said, "Oh, too bad your healthcare is denied, buddy," or "Heaven is denied," or something along those lines. Because the reality is that these leeches have been living off of the deaths of Americans for way, way too long. And I'm supposed to say at this point, "Oh well, anything like this is a tragedy, yada, yada, blah, 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 blah." But for those of you who understand how I roll, that's not what I'm going to say, because that's not how I feel. I was actually shocked that it took this long. I thought that it would have been somebody from DuPont or something along those lines long ago. But, hey, it took a while. And so, I'm just glad that the CEOs are now pulling their Facebook pages down, and their whatever their bullshit social media lies are about how they care about humanity. I'm glad that at this point they feel the same way that their healthcare people feel. The people that are insured, that are scared to death that they may actually need the health insurance and they'll be denied. I'm just wondering what kind of asshole becomes their bodyguard, because I wouldn't do it. You couldn't offer me enough money. I signed up for diplomatic protection in Iraq, but I wouldn't do that here. I wouldn't do that for any amount of money. Absolutely not. There's no way you could get me to take a bullet for the CEO of a healthcare company that absolutely 100% unequivocally denies legitimate claims. By the way, I must be glitching like hell, because not a single person has come on this live stream in quite a while. Even though it shows I'm not, I obviously am. Son of a gun. They are blacklisting me. Ooh, boy, are they censoring me right now. Well, let's see. running to my live stream on YouTube because, yep, look at that, boom! All of a sudden, everybody, yeah, they're not liking what I'm saying on commie feed here, so they're just censoring the hell out of me. But the reality is that you know, did I know Brian Thompson? No, I didn't know him personally, but I know his type. I know that glad handing, smiling, backstabbing, lying sack of CEO horse shit. And I know how he made his millions and millions of dollars. And I also saw that he's being investigated for insider trading. It's drone static. Yeah, I guess so. Talk silver spot. Silver spot's going to go up. It's, look, we're back in the deep end of the shitstorm now. Okay, everybody celebrated that Trump got elected. Everybody's happy, but that doesn't get us out of the financial deep pile we're in. Moon Monster, don't ask me questions like how am I doing, because you got censored for that. Literally, it's censored on here. We're glitching again. Son of a bitch. I can't believe. Oh, there we go. Now, see, now it's funny when I said that. I was about to restart this one, and they were like, no, don't restart it. That way we can control your glitching. Yep. Oh, boy, I got to tell you, man, it's not doing that on my YouTube live stream, which is, by the way, on YouTube, live streaming right now, Big and Corn Fed. That's my channel. Just in case you're getting tired of this whole glitching thing, which I'm sure you probably are. I know I am. Oh, boy. All right. Let's turn that off. Let's turn that on again. And let's see if we can fix it this time. Oh, yeah. There we go. Glitching again. I'm going to have to restart the whole thing if it keeps glitching like this. I don't know why, but every time I talk about something controversial, my live feed freezes up. Weird how that works, right? Okay. Well, let's see. It says I've got a perfect connection. Isn't that strange? Let's see. Good connection. Okay. Real-time performance. Yeah. What the hell? Go back there. Okay. Nope. Glitching again. All right. I'm restarting this, man. Sorry, kids. Look for me in a minute. I got to restart my live stream there. They're glitching me on purpose. Big time. They are messing with me big time.
The German Shepherd is the shittest dog.
Oh, sorry, YouTube people. I know it's boring as hell to watch this shit. All right. And I am back on live. Okie dokie. Let's see what happens this time. Let's see how bad I glitch this time. Wow. Holy smoke. There we go. More likes attracts more viewers. Keep it up. Thank you very much. I like all the likes. I appreciate that. That definitely helps me get out to the algorithms and prove that I'm not as bad as they think I am. But clearly, they don't like me much. Colorado. It's got to be cold up there. I mean, hell, it's even cold down in Arizona tonight. Well, okay, not cold. Chilly. A little bit chilly. All right. We're finally moving up a little bit here. Okay, so silver. Silver is going to do very well over the next few months. It's going to take a couple of really scary things that will get it just absolutely blasted back to 40, but that's where it's heading. Actually, I think it's heading quite a bit higher than that. I don't think it's going to be because of panic buying, but over the last 4 years, India has accumulated 900 million plus ounces of silver for their reserves. That's a lot. China is now paying, by all accounts, twice as much as anybody else in the world for silver slurry, which is unrefined silver, which they then ship back to China and refine themselves and keep. And they don't tell anybody how much they have, because if you refine it yourself, you don't have to tell anybody about it. Let's see. Invite another host to go live with you. Not right now. Okay, so couple things I want to talk to you. This is going to be very, very important. Number one, when the silver market collapses and the gold market collapses, and it very well could during the next, say, Black Swan event, which will happen very, very soon. But right now, I jotted down a few numbers today. The Kobayashi report letter, which is worldwide, very, very, very prestigious newsletter, showed that the S&P 500 is now 46% of the entire world's GDP. Highest ever. 46% of the entire world's gross domestic product is just in the S&P 500 value. Think that's a bubble? Well, it's 3.5 times the standard deviation between the European market and the United States markets. That's never happened before in 75 years. That's never been recorded. We are in a bubble that is absolutely stunningly huge right now. I mean, it is absolutely the most massive stock bubble we've ever been in. And just to be real clear on this, Global Market Investor newsletter showed today that 43% of all Russell 2000, that's all small caps, Russell 2000 small caps, 46% of those companies are not profitable. Not profitable. Are you shitting me? That's almost half of the Russell 2000. The Russell 2000 index is an index of 2,000 US small cap companies. What the absolute fuck is going on here? How can we have almost half of the companies in the Russell 2000 not being profitable? Do you understand what that means? Do you have any idea what's going to happen when they have to roll over all of their equity and try to borrow more money at these way higher rates than they borrowed it last time, now that they're losing money again? This is higher than at any time, including the global financial crisis. It's higher than COVID, when all the lockdowns happened. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Oh, just getting my podcast ready, man. I'm going to make a lot of money, have a lot of fun, and talk to a lot of people about a lot of cool things on my podcast. So that's going to be a fun deal. I do appreciate all the likes, by the way. That helps a lot. A couple things I did want to talk about real quickly. I wanted to say congratulations to Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda has finally, after years and years and some name changes like ISIS, ISIS-K, whatever, they finally are now the government in Syria. So congratulations, guys. And by the way, their leader, who was one of the top 10 most wanted terrorists of literally all the history of the United States, is now the guy who's running the country. He's no longer a terrorist, by the way. Yes, I know he helped kill a lot of people and videotaped it, whatever, but he's not a terrorist anymore. He's now a moderate jihadi. Oh, the irony. George Orwell, if you only knew how badly you underestimated the Department of Doublespeak. Yeah, The news is reporting him as a moderate jihadi. This is the most wanted terrorist in the last, say, I don't know, since Obama, since we killed Osama bin Laden. Yeah, sure we did. He didn't die of liver failure. I'm sure of that. Even though, kidney failure. I'm sorry. His kidneys were shot, and he was going to kidney dialysis constantly in 2000. That would be prior to 2001. So, whatever. Don't want to get into conspiracy theories, get off in the weeds here. I'm fucking glitching again. I can see it. Man, this is getting really old. This is getting really old. I'm glitching. I know, I froze up again. Thanks for hanging in there with me, guys. It's a pain in the ass. All right, so Taliban and Hamas congratulate the Syrian people, and leader Giuliani praised the heroic Mujahideen. Yep, gotta love that. Let's see. Americans are now driving their older cars into the ground. Good, that's good. We want automakers to understand that gouging us and charging $150,000 for a pickup truck is not okay. Let's see. Coffee hits new high. Cocoa jumps to 7-month high. Yeah, I can see that. You might want to look at commodities as a place to learn and do a little studying as far as investing. That's interesting. What was this? What's this little thing back here about? No. I don't want to see that one. I want to see, where is it? They had a thing about a new disease that's just come out. I missed the premiere, apparently. State Department scrambles to scuttle $100 million censorship network before Trump takes office. I'll bet they are. Trump tells Putin to agree to intermediate ceasefire. That's smart. IDF tanks reach just 25 kilometers from Damascus as Netanyahu, Jesus. And what is this? Here comes the Disease X outbreak. A mysterious illness in the Democratic Republic of Congo has been dubbed Disease X. There have been 400 cases and up to 143 deaths linked with it. That would be about 25%. That mortality rate is about 250 times higher than COVID. That would be a problem. Let's see. On Sunday, the World Health Organization, we always trust them, provided an update on Disease X, indicating the illness has been reported in Kwango province in the southwest part of the Central African country. Panzi Health Zone in Kwango province of Democratic Republic of the Congo recorded 406 cases of the undiagnosed disease with symptoms of fever, headache, cough, runny nose, and body ache. Sounds like the flu. And who wrote that the disease out? They wrote in their outbreak report. The report continued, rapid response teams have been deployed to identify the cause of the outbreak and strengthen the response. The teams are collecting samples for laboratory testing, providing a more detailed clinical characterization in detected cases, investigating transmission dynamics, and actively searching for additional cases, both within the healthcare facilities and the community and at a community level. Yeah, the flu doesn't kill 25% of the people who get it, though. That's pretty hardcore. I'd be very interested in finding out what that is about, because it doesn't look like the mainstream media is really touching this much. Yeah, they're not really. Wouldn't that be ironic, though? The first pandemic hits when Trump's in office. and he gets completely horrible information about what to do about it. And then as soon as he takes office again, another one hits. It's almost like they want him to look bad. Well, good luck on this one. That is not going to be good. Bird flu. The next pandemic is right on schedule. Oh, great. More pandemic. Let's see. Let's see. H1N1, H1.5, H5N1. What is it? What's this one? H5N1 is closer to gaining pandemic potential than we thought. The bird flu virus is one mutation away from binding more efficiently to human cells. Well, that's not good news. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, we haven't had a good pandemic in a couple. It's been kind of a slow time for pandemics. That's true. If there's money involved, yes. Well. Pandemics. All right. Well, so much for that. Let's go back. Let's go back and see what else is going on. JP Morgan finally turned bullish on stocks. Are they too late to the party? You bet your ass they are. It's funny because right now, CEO, the CEOs of most major hedge funds are 98% invested in the stock market, which means that over the last 36 months, they've either been bullish or bearish on the market, and they've either done really well or not so well as far as putting in to the stock market. Right now, they are almost as completely and totally invested as they possibly can be in the stock market. Smells like utter destruction. What in the hell is going on with my live stream? All right. Here we go again. And now we're joined again. And boom. Yeah, they're fucking with me pretty good tonight. They are messing with me something fierce. Is anybody on my live YouTube? Because that does not. There we go. All right. It's hard to get people off of TikTok. I know. It's sad but true. It's sad but true. We're waiting for silver to go back up, and YouTube is bad too. No, not according to the people on YouTube. They're telling me everything's fine. So, Steve asking about money. Yep, we're waiting. We're waiting for silver to get a little bit higher because right now it's it needs to be back where it started, which is 34, 35, somewhere right in there. That's when we can dump. But right now, and by the way, this is for people who bought a while ago who are now already profitable. So now, if you're buying now, I'd say you wait a couple months until it's 40. And believe me, with what I was just talking about, I know it's going to 40. Based on things like this, I mean, the Russell 2000 index is an absolutely enormous index. 2,000 small cap companies, and only just barely half of them are profitable. The other 46% are not profitable right now. Oof, that is horrifying. That is terrible. So, right now, the one thing I do want to talk about, and the reason that I think that silver and gold are about to really, really explode is because of the Shanghai Exchange. And the Shanghai Exchange, when you buy metal from the Shanghai Exchange, you have to buy, let's say you want 1,000 ounces, you buy a 1,000-ounce bar. That 1,000-ounce bar is then laser etched with your information on it. You are given the code that's put on that registration. The Shanghai Exchange is given a certificate that says this is who owns this bar. COMEX, they tell you, okay, look, you have a gold bar. or silver bar. Okay, great. They then do what's called rehypothecation. Now, rehypothecation is a fun word, isn't it? Big ass word, big fancy word. But what does it mean? Rehypothecation means that the COMEX will then take that bar that you purchased, that you have there, and they will borrow it. And then they'll sell it again and again and again and again. And if you're lucky, 1 out of every 17 people on a good day might be able to take delivery of a 1,000-ounce silver bar from COMEX. The other 16 would obviously be told, we're sorry, we can't fill the order. Even though, yes, we said you bought it and we took your money for it, we can't send it to you. But we do have very, very good news. We'll give you your money back. Now, if you've had your money with COMEX for 8 months and silver has soared to, say, I don't know, $40, and they send you your money back, your money is now worth 10% less than when you sent it to them. But the silver that you thought you bought is worth 20% more. So you've lost 30% on your money. And that's perfectly legal. Yeah, it's called rehypothecation. And basically what it means is we're going to sell something that doesn't belong to us. And then we're going to tell you that you still have it, because technically, if only 1 in every, 400 people actually ask for a gold bar, well, then we do have it. Now, if 1 in every 200 ask for it, we've only got half as much as we said for them. And then if everybody asks for it, 1 out of every 400 people get their gold, and the rest get a big fuck you. We don't have it. But that's okay. We'll send your money back. Now, how long does that take? Who knows? The great part is it's not covered by the FDIC or anyone else. So if they decide that, oh, hell, this is just way too much, well, they just say, sorry, we can't fill your order, period. Welcome to the way American business is done. So do not buy SLV or GLD or any of these other electronically traded funds, because they've all sold dozens to hundreds of times more gold and silver than they actually have. As a matter of fact, the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association, just admitted that they trade probably 10 times what they have in their vault that's available for sale. They have 300 million ounces. That means they're trading 3 billion ounces a day. So what if everybody said, oh, by the way, I decided I want it? There's absolutely no way they could possibly fill those orders. So basically what they're doing is they're betting that nobody's actually going to ask for the silver and gold, which means that if, 1 out of 10 people did, that entire system would completely collapse, along with the banks. Because remember, if all these banks that have naked shorts, and I know naked shorts sounds fun, and sometimes it can be, but not when it's a financial matter. Naked shorts means that they have bet against gold and silver. And not only have they bet against gold and silver, but they've bet against gold and silver with no insurance. They have no way of getting enough gold and silver to cover what they've sold and taken money for. So if they sell it at 30, thinking it's going to go to 25, but then it goes to 35, they have to buy it back at 35. So a real life loss of, let's say they sell 1,000,000 ounces, well, $5 million. But they're not doing that. They're using billions of ounces, and they are way, way short. So if the silver market does break for any reason, oh, I don't know, let's say that there's a war in Syria. Again, still, whatever. Something like that could set off the silver market. And by the way, Russia just announced their budget for next year. They are now considering silver a strategic metal as well as a precious metal, and they are adding it to their reserves. Okay, well, let's see who else. Well, that would be India. They've purchased 900 million ounces in the last 4 years. China, the second largest producer of silver, hasn't sold a single ounce of silver this year. No, they're not exporting any silver anymore. As a matter of fact, they're importing silver. So everything they make themselves, they're keeping, and they're going to South America and all over Latin America, and they're offering double what anyone else in the world is offering for silver slurry. Now, silver slurry is just basically unrefined silver. But the reason they're buying it is because when they take it back to China and they actually refine it, they don't report it. Because when they bought it, it wasn't refined. So nobody can figure out how much did they get out of that. We can kind of guess, but we don't get any real numbers. And China doesn't report what they own because they just don't want to. And as a sovereign nation, you don't have to report. I mean, look at Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia said they'd report how much silver and gold they bought. They bought 143 tons of gold. And they didn't tell anybody. They didn't report it. The only reason it was found is because when the Austrian and Swiss numbers were looked at, import-export numbers, it's like, what is this export stuff? Wait, where are you exporting hundreds of tons of gold to? Oh, Saudi Arabia. Well, that's weird. Why are they taking it? Why are they actually going through all the expense to bring it back to Saudi Arabia? Well, there's only one reason you would go through all that expense and not just keep it in the LBMA, because you don't trust the London Bullion Market Association, the largest vaults in the world. Well, if you don't trust the LBMA, guys, I don't trust the LBMA. That means nobody trusts the LBMA. So that's what's going on right now. Silver Santa. I like it. Yep, getting a little silver around the edges. Yeah, so I think things are going to be very, very interesting. Anomalous wobbles on YouTube too. Well, that doesn't surprise me, I guess. I own Wheaton. Wait a minute. Wheaton, previous market great silver stock. Silver stocks are not my favorite. And that's just because corporations are full of people and people do weird and stupid things. And so the politics, everything, once you get it out of the ground and you refine it, then I want to buy it. Otherwise, I do like pure silver because once it's pure, that's it. There's no turning back. It's, the cake is baked. So no gold. Not right now. No, I mean, I think gold could go to 10,000 really easily. But here's the problem. If gold goes to 10,000, then that means it goes up by a little over 300%. If that does happen and the ratios, the permanent sort of ratios between gold and silver stay, then that means that you're looking at something along the lines of $300 silver. Well, it's at 30 now. 300? That would be a lot more than 30% or 300%, excuse me. So, we're looking at some really big numbers for silver. But I love gold. I mean, it's, put that silver in your mattress. Well, I wouldn't put it in my mattress, but I'd probably get some, like a can of generic kidney beans and fill that up. And, I mean, there's a million places. If somebody had 3 days to go through my house, they wouldn't find any silver. And I don't keep a lot of it here, but I keep enough that, just in case. And Believe me, it's in the weirdest places. I mean, I've talked about the fact that Celestial Seasons Sleepy Time tea, that chamomile crap. Who the hell would steal a box of that out of your pantry? You'd have to be insane. Or, or in Portland, I could see that in Portland, like somebody breaking in just specifically to steal your chamomile tea. Moon monster. Incorrigible, man. So, yeah, that's what I think is going to happen with silver. Now, it's going to take something to set it off. Okay. Now, what's going to set it off? Let's see. Let's see. We got war in Syria. That, by the way, that completes the Holy Trinity, which is not really a Trinity. But Wesley Clark was given a memo, oh God, years and years and years ago, and it was from the guys upstairs at the DoD, and it was classified at the time, so we couldn't talk about it. But basically, it was their hit list, and they said that over the next 5 years, they wanted to take out Syria, Lebanon, Iraq. They'd already gone into Afghanistan, Libya, and what was the other? Oh, finally Iran. They wanted to take out Iran, and so they had a list of 7 countries that they were going to go in and completely just decimate, take all their natural resources, loan the money they couldn't pay back, do the whole Jekyll thing, and then but Iran was definitely high up on the list. And so, no, not Saudi. Saudi Arabia has been our best buddy. Saudi Arabia is our good friend. That's why they would never, ever fund 9/11. They would never, ever, ever let 15 of the 19 hijackers come specifically from Saudi Arabia, ever, with lots of money behind them, ever. Well, maybe never. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting that Saudi Arabian intelligence was over here in Washington looking around and showing that, hey, look, these are the places that somebody could hit pretty easily. And then within a few months, that's exactly what happened. Well, what do? That's the bottom line is the United States does business with whoever they want to for whatever reason they decide is best. Banana bread or zucchini bread? Definitely banana bread. Definitely banana bread, but only if it's got some chocolate chips in it. You got to spice that shit up a bit. They learned to fly, not to land. Well, they didn't learn to fly though, did they? I mean, they were all shitty pilots, including one who, when he came to a flight school in Florida, they said, nope, we called your old flight school. They said, you are not to be a pilot, period. You can't fly. They wouldn't even give him lessons. That's how bad a pilot he is. And ironically, I'm pretty sure that's the one who did a 300-degree dive at 500 miles an hour, skimmed across the Pentagon's lawn without actually touching the lawn at 500 knots and ran an airplane into the side of the Pentagon and only made a 16-foot wide hole in it. Wow. That's some fucking flying, baby. I mean, I've been working on my private pilot's license, and I can tell you, woo! Just referring to the Greater Israel Plan. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you ask the Israelis, they'll say, look, we just want to get by. If you ask the ultra-Orthodox Hasidis, etc., they'll say, there's no such thing as Israel. Israel is the entire world. We are the only people in the world. Everyone else is just an animal. I mean, it's not my opinion. I didn't make that up. I read it in the Talmud. So, you don't want to judge everybody based on what just a few people believe, but the ultra-Orthodox are basically the ones who control a lot of what goes on in Israel. And I think a lot of Jews are getting very tired of that. They're saying, okay, look, guys, you're going to get us all killed. You're going to make Israel disappear in a big mushroom cloud because now Turkey's getting pissed. I see Israel is bombing chemical weapons places in Syria. It's possible. I'm not sure that there are chemical weapons places in Syria after all this time. Who knows? I mean, look, if you're reading it in the media, if you're seeing it in the media, we all know it does not mean that there's any truth to it whatsoever. If the Israeli government is saying it, we can pretty much guess that it's probably not true. Remember that somebody a lot smarter than me said that the first casualty of war is truth. I mean, the first casualty of government is truth. Oh, they're attacking everything they can. Look, if you're Israel and ISIS just took over Syria next door, ISIS, that means that country is going to be under Sharia law. That means that 8-year-olds are now okay to marry. That also means that if you're caught outside, if you're a woman and you're talking to somebody that's not a close family relative, a father or a brother, you will be honor killed. You'll be stoned to death. It happens. This is what Syria is going into right now. So yeah, Assad, bad guy, I guess, huh? But ISIS, Islamist terrorists, jihadists who were some of the most wanted terrorists on planet Earth are now in control of the government there? Huh. What could possibly go wrong? It's almost like when the Taliban took over in Afghanistan after we tucked tail and ran and left everything behind, including all of the people that helped us. What did they say? Let's see. They said that they said they were going to bring back the cutting off of hands for thievery. So imagine California, but exactly the opposite. Yeah, steal a candy bar, lose your nose pickers. That's pretty harsh. Let's see. How does the Manhattan DA plan to keep Trump case alive? Boy, I got to tell you, that is a piece of work right there. Ran for office promising to get Trump for something. I mean, yeah, nothing says integrity like that. Let's see. You always talk politics, foreign countries, and gold and silver. Yeah, pretty much, because they're all tied together. Look, we're not alone in the world. Now, I get it. We are basically the entire world. Don't let Joe Biden and his sissy BS fool you. We represent about 70% of Mexico's GDP, and they represent about 3% of our GDP. They don't tell us what they're going to do with our border. We tell them, and they listen, or they collapse financially into an absolute horrible depression. Period. Canada, with their huge mouth leader, Trudeau, who I get it, Canadians are cool. Trudeau's not. So as Trump called him, Governor Trudeau from the great state of Canada, yeah, he actually put that in a tweet. He's obviously trolling Trudeau, because Trudeau was like, hey, man, Trump may be president, but you know what? We don't have to do what he says. Trump was like, oh, well, you guys represent 7% of our GDP, and we represent 75% of your GDP. How about we just put tariffs on everything you try to send to us? Huge 50% tariffs, because we don't need your shit, but you need ours. And Trudeau said, hey, you know what? It's Thursday. I think I want to go to Mar-a-Lago. And then, of course, they had, well, no, it wasn't Trudeau. It was the Italian Meloni. Trump described her as a firecracker, which, if you're an old white fart like he is, that is a good thing. That's a compliment, because that means she's got a lot of moxie, which is another old fart term that I stole from a 40s movie. Yeah, cinema noir. Sometimes it's fun. Let's see. Treasury yields drop. Huh. Interesting. Dalio predicts global debt crisis backs Bitcoin and gold. Bridgewater Associates founder Ray Dalio referred to Bitcoin as a hard asset, saying he would choose gold over debt assets. Well, okay, so I like Ray. I think he's incredibly intelligent and he's a billionaire, self made. I'm going to go with yes, I agree with him, but not on the gold part. The reason he's saying gold is because he's talking to people that have $100 million. And if you have $100 million, call me. I'll hook you up with a lot of gold. If you don't have $100 million and you still want to invest, silver is your best bet. No question. Let's see. What in the world? It looks like you guys are glitching again. Okay, there. You're not glitching now, finally. All right. Lagging horribly. Yeah, they're doing that to me. Ever since I started talking about stuff they don't like, I glitch a lot. Funny. DC, we have a problem. Inflation is not going away. What? But what about all that shit we just had to go through? Oh, okay. Premium members only, huh? Not going to let me steal that? Unbelievable. Ooh, wow. Elon Musk jokes that Bill Gates could go bankrupt on backfiring short Tesla bet. Oh, so Bill Gates decided to short Tesla, huh? How's that working out for you, Billy boy? Idiot. Let's see. SCOTUS asked to block state from investigators. SCOTUS, Supreme Court, asked to block state from investigating doctors who question COVID-19 policies. What the fuck does that headline say? That's crazy. You're looking at Zero Hedge, you bet. Oh, by the way, something that's not on Zero Hedge, I saved it, so anybody who wants a copy of it, I can send it to you. This is going to be very, 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 very important. Somebody asked me, let's just say a girl that I know very well now. We were laying there talking, and she said, "Did you get the COVID vaccine?" And I said, "No, of course not." And she goes, "Good, thank God. Neither did I." And I said, "Okay, good. Why do you ask?" And she goes, "Well, I've been wondering, and I know this sounds crazy." And I said, "You're wondering if you could get the COVID vaccine DNA changing weird shit by kissing or being intimate with somebody?" And she was like, "Yeah, how'd you know that?" And I said, "Because I've been wondering the same thing. Like, if it does actually change the DNA of people, does that DNA get shed?" And she said, "God, that's so weird. Yeah, I've been thinking about that." Well, guess what? On YouTube, doctor of virology, who is world renowned, said, "Look, we have a serious, serious problem because it's not a vaccine and it should never be called a vaccine again. And it's been changed in a lot of medical references to gene therapy. But most importantly, there are pieces of this DNA that replicate, that spread, and can be shed." Oh, they can be shed? Yes, through contact. They may even be shed through aerosol, which means if you breathe on somebody, you can give them the COVID vaccine. Well, now that's really terrifying because that would mean that please don't tell me about silver. I'm not. I already talked about silver. But the idea that this vaccine, which by the way, if you look on whether or not it has any effects on, oh, I don't know, male fertility, only one country in the entire world has done any kind of studying on this at all, and it's Sweden. Sweden did a study of I want to say 70 different sperm banks and donors, thousands of donors from all across Sweden. And these young men had donated before getting the vaccine and after getting the vaccine. And they found that sperm motility went down by 85% after they got the vaccine. 85%. That means that their junk doesn't work anymore. 85%. Across the board, all the men that got the vaccine. The ones who did not take the vaccine had no change. Maybe that's just a hell of a coincidence. Wouldn't that be a hell of a coincidence if the guys who didn't take the vaccine still had the same amount of go juice, and then the guys who did take the vaccine, it dropped by 85% and effectively made them sterile. How many people took that vaccine? And most importantly, does it actually spread? Can you actually get the vaccine from people who have gotten the vaccine? Because that would be evil. That would be pure evil. Because now that we know what Fauci was really up to, there's a lot of stuff going on here. What's happening, buddy? Yeah, there's a lot more to meets the eye than meets the eye. This is getting very strange. Yeah, well, guess what? Men's fertility rates have been dropping like a rock for 3 generations anyway, probably due to environment and diet. The COVID vaccine may have been the nail in the coffin. We're going to see. It'll play out in the next few years. We'll see what fertility rates turn into. But, the reality is that I've only got 5 kids at this point. I may have to pitch in and have another 5 or 6 kids. Look, I'd only do it for the country because I love my country. Let's see. This is great. House to vote on $3 billion in funding to remove Chinese telecom equipment from U.S. networks. American telecom networks made headlines recently as intelligence officials confirmed ongoing Chinese state-backed hacking activities targeting the networks. Well, whose idea was it to buy that shit anyway? Oh, God. This is going to be good. Oh, I'm glitching again, aren't I? Yeah, probably. This is going to be great. Okay. Don't worry, folks. I didn't say anything while it was glitching. I was just holding my breath the whole time. Sorry, Henry, you're out of luck because I'm out of batteries. Yeah, I waited till I cleared the glitch before I started talking again. Let's see. Israeli Defense Force tanks reached just 25 kilometers from Damascus as Netanyahu declares Golan as ours forever. What could possibly go wrong? The rough tally of 200 raids overnight had left nothing of the Syrian army's assets. Oh, really? This is going to be fun. I can't even imagine. Like, this is... How many fronts does Israel want to fight on at the same time, really? Because at some point, they're going to have to realize that there are 1.5 billion Muslims in the world. And they don't like Israel. Some of them put up with Israel, but they don't like Israel. It's going to be an interesting year. It really is. Let's see. Futures rise as yields hit a week high. Putin tells Putin to agree to intermediate ceasefire in Ukraine after Syria's Assad is ousted. I don't know what one has to do with the other, but I'm sure they're interconnected. Let's see. That's the point. Start World War III. Well, I know that Trump doesn't want to, but I know that Biden Harris and, Anthony Blinken, who's actually running the country. I mean, I'm serious when I say that. Tony Blinken is actually running the United States of America right now because Kamala Harris is drinking wine out of a box in Hawaii or wherever she's at, and Biden is completely mentally toast. Like, there's just nothing left upstairs. Um, so what could who's running the country? Well, I would have to say Secretary of State. Let's see. Goldman Sachs trader. Market sentiment is unburdened by what could have been. A little play on words there, you think? A little play on words there. Brazil's Lulu undergoes emergency brain surgery after, thank you guys, appreciate the offer. Undergoes emergency brain surgery following October fall. Well, isn't that interesting? Maybe he didn't do what he was told. This is absolutely shocking. Daniel Penny is found not guilty and gets death threat from BLM founder. It's a small world, buddy. That's what apparently they told him. I think that this is clearly a case of somebody wanting to justify why they've taken tens of millions of dollars from their fellow African Americans and not done shit with it, except ask for more. I absolutely cannot believe Jordan Neely's father reacts to Daniel Penny being found not guilty. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now? I've had enough of this. The system is rigged. Come on, people. Let's do something about this. Wait, is this the father who gave yeah, this is the same father that gave Jordan Neely up to a foster home because he didn't want him. Hasn't had contact with him in like 20 years. And then all of a sudden just appears out of the woodwork when there's a microphone there. Well, I'll be dag-nabbed. The guy he had choked wasn't arrested 40 times, 42 times. And he had punched an old woman in the face so hard he broke her nose. Apparently, she didn't know him and she'd never seen him before. But, BLM, because apparently, I mean, look, at some point, you just got to call bullshit on this stuff. And I know I'm not allowed to because I'm white. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It's bullshit. Black Lives Matter is a bullshit foundation made up of a bunch of greedy black people who said, hey, I want to steal money from my fellow black Americans. And because they're black, they get money. And what have they done with it? How many children have they clothed and fed? None. How many schools have they opened? None. How many universities have they donated some of that $70 million to? None. Well, I don't know. It sounds to me like they're just taking the money and living high on the hog. I know that the woman who founded it, she bought 3 multi-million-dollar homes. And guess what? All in areas that were at least 90% white. She didn't want to live around black people because, black people. That's her attitude. The founder. Yeah, she's in trouble now. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's see. They bought mansions. Yeah, well, look, and I see it. I see it happening. I see black conservatives. I see, black people that are like, man, I'm not buying the bullshit. The only people that are holding these folks down are these folks because everybody else is at fault. It's always somebody else's problem. It's always somebody else trying to do something to me. And it's like, look, man, the world's a bitch and we all have to fight to get what we want. So quit whining and bitching and complaining and blaming everybody else and go earn it. Don't just hold your hand out and wait for the Democrats to get back in power. Go earn it. Yeah, school's hard, so don't drop out. Parenting is hard, so don't run away as soon as you have a baby with a woman who had a baby because she thought you'd marry her for sure. If you did, don't do that. Stand your ground, be a man. That's what men do. So I don't know, man. It's a tough one because it's not about being white or black. It's not about race. It's about culture. And that culture is broken. The culture of BLM is the broken part of black culture. There's a part of black culture that's very religious, very hardworking, very centered, their ethics and their morals are totally straight. And you see these folks every fucking day. But there's the rest. And it's a small percentage. Because look, 13% of the entire country is black. That's it. It's a tiny percentage of our country. Well, most of those folks are hardworking. Most of them bust their ass just like the rest of us. And they pay their bills just like the rest of us. So what percentage of these people are on the news constantly? What percentage of these people are starting riots and burning down restaurants, usually in their own fucking neighborhood? What percent of these people are looting? Because it's not a lot. So the question is, who gets to hold them accountable? Because I can't. No, I can't do it. See, that's the beautiful part about Black Lives Matter and shit like that. I can't say a word about it because then I'm just racist. And anything I say after means nothing because I'm just a racist. So, but what if I'm not racist? What if I want the best for everybody in this country, including every single black person in this country? That's impossible because I'm a middle-aged white man. And that doesn't exist. Middle-aged white men are all evil. We all hate black people, secretly, of course. Oh yeah, I have black friends. Yeah, sure I do. But that's the problem. Well, divide and conquer. But the thing is, you're not dividing the United States. You're dividing 13% of the United States between black Americans who work their balls off and do everything the same way everybody else does, and black Americans who listen to hip hop and want to just party and steal and rob and shoot people up. And they think that, yeah, you don't call them women, you call them bitches. It's like, what? Did your mom die at birth? Because if she heard you say that, she'd literally beat you over the head with a brick. But for some reason, that's a cool thing to do now. It's a cool culture. I watched it. I literally watched it starting in the 80s. And then the 80s, hip hop was so sappy. Oh my God, go back and listen to it. It was all about, I love this girl and this girl's so hot and she's so beautiful and I'm gonna get this girl. Well, guess what? The lyrics now are absolutely insane. It's just disgusting. It's just gross and it's embarrassing. But you know what? What do you do? I can't say anything. Now, there are a lot of black conservatives out there who are just absolutely kicking ass. Love them. The guys like Officer Tatum, guy used to be a cop. He's seen it all. He knows what's going on. Lyrics degrade women. Oh, absolutely. No question about it. I thought I was going to get censored here, but I'm not. They just want to make sure I'm still live. Look at that. I didn't get censored. I'll be damned. Yeah, the lyrics degrade women. Well, they degrade everybody. Look, when it's talking about, when the whole thing is about gang violence and I'm going to sell drugs, I'm going to get mine however I have to do it, doesn't matter because nobody's going to hold me down. Okay. Nobody held me down either. Oh, but you're white. Yeah. Being black since 1990, being black is a fucking superpower. You folks realize that? If you are a clean-cut, good-looking young black man and you're well-spoken and you walk into an office, guys are like, yeah, that's the kind of diversity I'm talking about right there. Hire that motherfucker right now on the spot. Same thing with a black woman. But if you walk in there and your attitude sucks and you don't speak English properly, And it makes everybody that talks to you, like, it just brings down the value of your whole conversation. Why? Why would somebody hire you? It's not because you're black. That's not the reason they're not hiring you. It's because you're not fucking putting in the effort. Life is struggle. That doesn't mean, oh, my life's a struggle because I bought a gun and now I'm shooting motherfuckers and they're shooting me. No, that's not the kind of struggle it is. That's when your world is this big. Your world is measured in blocks. It's called your territory. Just like tribal shit. And that is not how you should want to roll. This country is still the greatest country ever, period, in the history of humanity. You think it would have been better in ancient Rome? You think it would have been better in England 400 years ago? Are you crazy? The word slave comes from Slavs, the Slavic people. Those are my people, not yours. Yeah, we were slaves first. And guess what? You were slaves too in Africa. Who were you slaves to? Other Africans. Slavery goes back to the beginning of time. It's not middle-aged white guys from America who did it. We didn't invent that shit. As a matter of fact, I've owned a lot of cars, a lot of motorcycles. I've owned a couple of houses. Let's see. No, never. I've never owned a slave ever in my whole life. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm sure. I had to think about it, but yeah, I'm absolutely positive. I've never owned a slave. No, nor would I. No, yeah, I wouldn't do it. So then the question becomes, when do we start moving forward? Because this Black Lives Matter shit, this is insanity. Like, this is complete insanity. Some fat black guy got up there and said, "Hey, man, we got to start having vigilantes of our own." No, you do have vigilantes of your own, because the guy who helped Daniel Penny hold the insane dude down was black. And technically, he's a vigilante, just like Daniel Penny was. Now, what is a vigilante? Somebody who goes out looking for justice. Well, they weren't looking for it, but they had to do what they had to do. And believe me, that same guy who was saying, yeah, we need our own vigilantes, which he's implying that what they need is they need black people to just go out and beat up white people, because that doesn't happen randomly all the time anyway. Look at the FBI crime statistics. The bottom line is this. When you look at what happened on that subway, if that had been like the woman that they interviewed when she got off the train, she was totally terrified. She was a black woman. She was probably in her 50s or 60s, and she was absolutely, completely terrified because this guy was totally serious. I'm going to kill somebody. I don't care if I go to jail. That's what he was saying. Well, what happens when you're a guy who knows he can, like, I can stop this? What do? You don't stop it? You just let it happen? That guy who was saying that they need some black vigilantes, what if that older lady was his mom? You think he'd be talking like that now? What if that guy who helped hold the insane dude down was his father? You think he'd be talking like that now? No. These people are literally making a public spectacle for money. This is a circus now. And as the Romans always said, circus and bread. Why did his family leave him homeless? Oh, they didn't want him. They made his stepfather, or his real father, the one who's so brokenhearted now. Let's see. Jordan Neely's father. Yeah, he came forward to say that this isn't fair, and what's going to happen to us now? I've had enough of this. The system is rigged. Yeah, he's had enough of this. What's going to happen to them now? Them being all African Americans, all black people. You don't have to be African, by the way. If you're from, let's say, the Caribbean, you're in trouble. According to this, you're in big trouble because, fear. Let's see, 52 arrests. Yeah, well, he was arrested 52 times. But that's the problem is how is Daniel Penny supposed to know that this guy is mentally ill? He didn't know. All he knows is a guy gets on there. He's young. He's big enough that he could kill somebody if he decided to. He may have a knife. Fuck, he may have a gun. It's New York. So he decides, you know what? I got to try and stop this guy. So the guy's fighting with him and fighting with him and fighting with him and fighting with him. And finally, the police show up. He lets go of the guy who was still alive. Still alive. Yes, he was still alive when Daniel Penny let go of him. And the paramedics chose not to work on him. Do you know why? Because they thought he might be HIV positive. So they didn't want to touch him. Oh, didn't hear that part when the BLM folks went fucking nuts, did you? No, you didn't. Don't say those words. Oh, I know. Yeah, I'll get banned. By the way, you got censored for saying those words. How crazy is that? You got censored for saying don't say those words. Censorship is real. So anyway, it's just sad. It's sad because the reality is that Black Lives Matter and the folks who are part of that movement are literally holding our entire country back. It's like that part of the train that literally it's like the brakes are locked up and the rest of the train is trying to pull them up the hill. And at some point you go, look, just cut those people loose, man. Just let them go. Just forget about them. And it's like, well, no, they're part of the United States. They're part of us. And it's like, yeah, they don't want to be part of us. They don't want to be part of the country. They don't want what we have. Well, what do we have? Struggle, just like everybody else. But got a hell of a lot less. Hell of a lot less. How'd you like to live in Libya right now? Or Syria or Lebanon? How'd you like to live in any of those countries right now? How'd you like to live in most parts of South America? Now, there are some nice cities like Buenos Aires, beautiful city. But my point is that for most of the people in most of these countries, life is a constant struggle. Constant. Look, you want to get ahead in this country? Get ahead. It's that simple. I know, it's like, well, wait, how could it be that simple? I wanted to go help the cops. Yeah. Well, what do you do? Here's the thing. We're going into a recession. It's going to be a shitty one. It's going to be really bad, and it's going to last for several years. If you don't want to participate in it, don't. If you have money, put it in silver now. Call me. I will help you. If you don't have money now, then start a business. Period. Start a business. I know a lot of you are like, well, I can't start a business. I'm already in debt. I've got kids. I got bills. I got this. I got that. Okay. Well, that makes you exactly like the BLM people. Excuses, excuses, excuses. No more excuses. Start a business. Minimum buy of silver is just 100 ounces, not a restaurant. No, I wouldn't start with a restaurant. That is a very difficult way to make a living. It can be very profitable, but only for a few people. A buddy of mine was probably the best cook I've ever met in my life, Jimmy from Florida, and he made some I don't know, some Cajun shit, whatever it was, and it was so good. It was some of the best food I've ever eaten. And I said, dude, why don't you open a restaurant? He said, oh, I'm going to. If I ever win the lottery, I'm going to open a restaurant. I'm going to run it until I go bankrupt again. I said, what do you mean? He goes, oh, I've gone bankrupt twice. He said, I wasn't initially in the investment industry. I wasn't a stockbroker. And I said, why'd you become a stockbroker? He goes, so I could save up enough money to go bankrupt in another restaurant. I was like, damn, that sucks. He goes, yeah, it's just, I love to cook. And so it's my passion. And I may never get the numbers right. And I may never make a fucking dime, but so what? I'm going to do it anyway. And I was like, all right, buddy, save me a seat because I'll be there. But, that's passion right there. So, what do window washers make? Well, if you're working in high rises, a shitload. But let's just say you're a window washer in a decent neighborhood, and you're charging, I don't know, $100 a house. If you only do 5 houses a day, do the math. Okay. Now, do you work 7 days a week? I fucking would. If I really really needed money, I would absolutely work 7 days a week. What are you going to do on that 7th day? Play golf? What a waste. You're going to sit there and watch other people play sports like football? Baby, the NFL on YouTube has highlights of every game. That's how I watch football. I pick out the Cardinals and the Detroit Lions and the Dolphins because I loved them when I was a kid. I kind of like the Packers because it's the only team that's not owned by a fat rich dude. Um, but yeah, I and there it's 10 minutes. It's a recap, shows all the good plays and leaves out all the bullshit. You know. Now, of course, it's not 3 hours of sitting on my ass doing nothing while my wife and kids leave me alone because they know this is daddy's time. That's bullshit. There's no such thing as daddy's time until all the bills are paid and you are living comfortably. Then there's daddy's time because guess what? At that point, you go out and get twice as many windows and then you hire somebody to do the windows you were doing and you work their ass off and you pay them just enough that you make, oh, I don't know, maybe half. So you're only making $250 a day. And some guy who didn't have a job last week is now making $250 a day. And he's like, man, $250 a fucking day. I make a lot of money. Yeah, absolutely. Are there people out there that will bust their butt for 10 hours a day for $250 a day? Oh, yeah, there are. So what happens if you hired 4 of them? And then the other $250 a day per person went in your pocket. I mean, shit, man, this adds up quick. Pretty soon, you're not doing windows anymore. You're just getting contracts. You're just knocking on doors and saying, God, do you hate doing windows? Because I know, well, I don't actually. I love doing windows. That's why I knocked on your door, because I love doing windows. But I know most people don't. Do you know how many people would say, yeah, I'll do my windows? You know how many men would say that? Because look, I do my windows when I have to. When I finally get to the point where I walk up to my sliding glass door and I'm like, oh, Jesus. Oh my God, if somebody saw that, that would be embarrassing. Yep. I break out the pledge or the fucking Windex or whatever, and I stand there for 45 minutes looking on both sides, looking for where's that fingerprint? It's on this side. Oh, shit, it's on this side. Nope, it's on this side. Shit, no, it's on this side. I hate that. And then you watch a professional and he's like, Windows perfect. That's because he practices. Okay, so my point is that's one business out of 100,000 different kind of businesses you can start. Start a business. I picked fruit for $5 an hour cash. I hope you did that when you were 10, because that's not much. And I hope that was a long time ago when you were 10. Then you walk through it exactly. You walk straight into it. Your light is off. Yes, it is. Battery's dead. Yep, got to go get some more batteries. I'll do it. I will do it. So anyway, all right, kids. Well, I'm going to go eat dinner because I haven't eaten for quite a while. Have I? Oh, yeah. I haven't eaten for about 10 hours. All right, I'm ready. So you guys have a great night. I'm going to go ahead and jump back on here again tomorrow night. There's plenty to talk about, obviously. But just give silver and gold a real hard look, mostly silver. Give it a real hard look. And if you want some, call me. I'll get you the best price in town. No question about it. So other than that, have a great night. And you guys over here on YouTube, have a fantastic night.